Okay, so got a new point of view, but I just want to make this video kind of about the evolution of social media, but like more about the evolution of media and what's happened and what happens and how we keep thinking that it's something new, but really it's the same thing. So when the radio player was invented, before that, all humans had was books to read. We read books for education, we read books for entertainment, we read books to pass time, we just read books because that's all there was. When the radio player was invented, the adults of the time would sit there and like be worried for their children because the children would be gathered around the radio player and listen. And then it became a family thing, right? Where like families would gather around, you'd have a radio player in the living room, families would gather around in the living room and listen to the radio. Then this turned into TV. When TV was invented, literally the adults, the older generation before the TV was invented, they swore to God that literally kids were going to go blind staring at the lights on the screen. So they would basically complain saying, kids back in my day, when we used to read books and back in my day we used to read the radio. And so as time progresses, so it was the radio, it was TV, now then it was the internet, and then it goes deeper than that, because like then it goes to social media, then we are where we are now. So I can say back in my day, we used to use MySpace, and I remember using AIM, instant messaging, AOL instant messaging, and I remember just, all that, and that was how it was back in my day. But today, there is none of that. So like even my generation, so I'm 27 years old. I was born in 1993. So my generation, the millennials, we kind of have this idea of using, like when we were children, when we were growing up, we used AOL instant messaging, we used MySpace, Facebook, and now there's Instagram, TikTok, and all these other things, right? The older generation, see, I never email, for example, right? I never really check my email. I check it for business reasons, but like I'm in the generation where it's like if you want to get a hold of me, you have to message me on Instagram, you got to message me on Messenger, you got to message me through the apps that I actually use, through the things that I actually check the most. And I'm finding out that, like, okay, age has a lot to do with this situation of not understanding. So, a lot of people don't understand what TikTok actually is. So, like, what was TikTok before TikTok? Originally, TikTok was called Musical.ly. Musical.ly got bought out and then was turned into TikTok. But the idea of Musical.ly, the idea of Vine, I don't know if you guys know what Vine is, but a lot of the older generations missed all these. Like people don't understand they're missing so much that is happening. It'd be like if you were going through life and you had a radio player in your living room, and it'd be like, okay, right now a lot of people got TVs in the living room and smart TVs, and we got the internet, so all of our TVs connect to the internet now and all this other shit. It'd be like if you still had a radio player in your living room trying to gather your family around the radio player. This is what happens to a lot of generations, that we get too attached to the tools that we used and we get scared of the new tools. So like the new tools, things like TikTok, Instagram, Reels, like Instagram Reels, stories, because all of these features are now, let's say Snapchat invented the stories thing. Then all the other apps started adapting stories to their app. Musical.ly, which is now TikTok, but Musical.ly invented and Vine, I guess, invented the up and down style videos, those short Vine, short TikTok reel style videos. from Musically was, exactly what it sounds like. You would have music playing and you would lip sync the music. And this is why TikTok has a mix between Musically and Vine, because literally TikTok is like a mix between Vine and Musically slammed together. And then this idea of that style of thing is now Reels, as well as YouTube Shorts, okay? So basically what's happening is the evolution of media, the evolution of the way we express ourselves, I guess. Because when I was younger, it was MySpace. MySpace was the very first social media, and it's what switched off from email to social media. It's this thing that if you haven't been in this thing, then you genuinely don't understand. Just like an old man that doesn't understand how to use cell phones, or an old man that doesn't understand how to use the internet or how to use whatever. The reason why he doesn't understand is because he's attached to the tools that he used before, instead of evolving and getting used to the tools we have now. We can easily fall into, I don't understand the kids nowadays. We can easily fall into that. I mean, I can easily fall into that. I'm 27, and so I have a 10-year-old daughter who keeps me updated on a lot of the world, but I already kind of know. So I keep her updated, she keeps me updated, and we help each other, right? She keeps me updated with, there's this new app called Likey, and it's not new. She told me about this shit like a year or two ago, right? But Likey is like an app that's kind of like TikTok, but it's more for younger people, because my daughter's 10. So I don't really want her on TikTok, because I downloaded TikTok, and let me tell you, TikTok is a mix between like Musically, Vine, and softcore porn. Like realistically, this is really what it is. So like all of these things, right? Instagram, TikTok, Reels, shorts, like all these have like what you could say soft porn, because you got some beautiful women maybe shaking their ass, or maybe got some titties bouncing, or whatever, and playing dress up and all this other shit. But then there's also so many funny videos on TikTok and so many different things, and if you're not in social media like that, then you really don't understand that single social media app is a different thing. That Reels, TikTok, Musically, Vine, YouTube Shorts, they're in the same category. They're the same type thing. YouTube, BitChute, DTube, I can't think of any other fucking, I guess, I can't think of any other thing besides and I guess you can categorize the Netflix and Hulu's and all that, but like Netflix and Hulu are more in that type of category, where it's like everything is evolving so fast that we can't keep up. I originally made this video, days ago. I remade this video. This is the remake. This is the video I will upload, because I watched a Carpo video, and Carpo was talking about, it was just like a little short video about him talking about the TikTok trends, and how there was these kids stealing something from school or something, but it's a TikTok trend or whatever. And it made me realize a lot of people don't understand these TikTok trends. They don't understand that these are new concepts, new inventions, new whatever, but not really. When I was younger, it was Jackass. Jackass came out, and me and my friends, there's this giant hill. There's this hill with a road on it, right? And we would steal a shopping cart. We'd all get in the shopping cart and ride the shopping cart down the hill, and we would get fucked up, right? And we would just do dumb shit, getting fucked up because we've seen it on Jackass. We're doing the same thing now, because Jackass, we don't understand that everything influenced the future. Everything that we did in the past created the future we're living in today. So if Jackass was never invented, it's quite possible that Vine might have never been invented. It's quite possible that if Jackass was never invented, some of these trends, these TikTok trends, like the funny ones, or the ones that you do something stupid, or climbing up the crate thing, or all these things are, in a sense, rippled reactions of Jackass coming out, ripple reactions of, if MySpace never invented, then there would be no Facebook. If there was no Facebook, there would be no Instagram. With no Instagram, there would be no TikTok. With no Vine, there's no TikTok. With no this, there's no that. And without all of them, then we miss the features to all of them. It is all evolving and going towards something. I don't know if this has to do with the fuck is it called? I can't even think about it. The singularity, where it's like man merges with technology, but where we're headed towards is something like that. And it's this thing that the humans in the past are not going to be merging with technology, right? Because the humans in the past can barely update with the world that we have now because they're scared. And it's scared of the unknown, but the children are not scared of the unknown because it's not unknown to them. To the kids today, TikTok, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat, and all these different filters that are on these things, the filters and all these different things. I remember that dog filter where you stick your tongue out and you have the dog's tongue and the dog's face, and you have all these different filters and all these different things. And this is just life now. And it's not, I was against, a year ago, I never downloaded TikTok, I never even looked at it, so I didn't understand it. I've had TikTok for a year now. As soon as I downloaded TikTok, I told my daughter she cannot have TikTok no more, let me tell you. But she has Likey, she has her Likey, and she's doing her thing, and she does her social media thing. And she's only 10, but she's getting hundreds of likes, or she's getting hundreds of views on her things and doing her thing. And I'm just keeping her updated with the world and what's going on because I can see, but then she, like I said, she keeps me updated because she, even though she's only 10 and she doesn't, it's not like she learned this sitting down in school or sitting down whatever, but she learned it by being in it, by being in the life, by being a 10-year-old on planet Earth in 2021. 10-year-olds on planet Earth in 2021 understand this world more than the adults do because they're actually in the world. Us adults, and even older adults than me, I'm 27, but if you got 10 to 15 years on me, then even if you got 5 years, because every 5 years there's a generation gap, there's a different generation. So 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, how many years you have on me is how much you also are living in a different world than me. We're all on planet Earth, but we're living in different worlds because we don't understand what's being created. We don't we think it's the same world we lived in, but it's not. The world you grew up in is dead, which is why I try so hard to keep evolving and keep growing, keep paying attention. As I get more financially stable, I'll have more technology shit because I love technology. I'm someone that, I'm an advocate for the technological world, but I'm also an advocate for the plant and spiritual world. But, I just think there's this thing happening that, we're either with it or we're where we were. But if you're where you were, then you're not where everyone else is. And this is why I have a TikTok now. So if you guys want to follow me on TikTok, MarkDreams25. Follow me on Instagram, MarkDreams25. If you just type in MarkDreams25, all one word, you'll probably find almost all my social media stuff. But I guess what I'm realizing is that, okay, so this is what I prefer to do. I prefer to just make a video, sit down and talk, having a landscape view so I can, whatever, but the world today is evolving, so I have to keep evolving with the world today. So I got a TikTok, and I start doing Instagram Reels. I literally upload on Instagram probably more than I upload here on YouTube. So, it's this thing that, yes, Instagram was for pictures, and yes, TikTok is for short videos, and yes, whatever, but you can kind of manipulate each app to fit you, your thing. So, on Instagram, I make beats and stuff with Fruity Loops and FL Studio, so I'll usually, go live on Instagram while I'm making a beat, or, I'll put updates of my beat as I'm making it on my Instagram, little clips, and, that's for Instagram. For here on YouTube, I save this for my long-winded thoughts that I just want to speak and whatever. But it's that I can see what happens to humans, that if you don't use the same things everyone else is using, then you're not going to understand what everyone else is doing. So like all these TikTok trends, all these different things. Now I don't follow the TikTok trends, but I understand them, right? Like I understand why people do them. I get it. I get what's happening. And it cannot be explained to anyone. It has to be experienced. So like, I don't know. You have to download TikTok, but I do not suggest people download TikTok. Like after I downloaded TikTok, I realized, okay, well this would be a problem for men that don't have self-control. Like, because then you get distracted by the hot chick dancing, or then you get distracted by the funny video, or then you get distracted. And I can see why people think these are a distraction, like social media and all this other shit. And I can see why people think it's stupid. People be like, this shit is stupid. I remember when the Tide Pod challenge was going around, everyone was like, these fucking idiots, these dumb kids nowadays, yada yada. And I mean, the shit, it's just what kids have always done, you know what I mean? Like, shit, in my dad's day and age, motherfuckers were sniffing glue. Like, it's just what kids do because we're all this thing. And it's like this, so in the early 2000s, if you were a teenager in the early 2000s and you didn't have a MySpace, it's like you didn't fucking exist. It's like you weren't one of us. And like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. But if teens today, if they don't have a TikTok, if they ain't on Instagram, if they're not on whatever the fuck, then it's like they don't even really exist today in this day and age. All of their friends are on TikTok. All of their friends are on this. And either they're using TikTok just to scroll and laugh, or they're using TikTok because they upload or whatever. And I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to see that, okay, this is what teenagers are into right now. And, it's just kids being kids. Kids will always do dumb shit because we always have done dumb shit. It's just now we're recording our dumb shit. Because that's the thing. Social media did not change anybody. Social media has not changed the human species. It has showed other people what the human species does. So, like, there was most likely, in your day and age, just like in my day and age, there was most likely people trying to walk across crates. They just didn't record themselves. But it happened. It's not like this is the very first time this has ever happened. Like, the cinnamon challenge was the very first challenge I can think of that happened on the internet. And that was when MySpace was here. There was the cinnamon challenge, and you would get a spoonful of cinnamon and try to, put it in your mouth, and people would just fucking choke, and people ended up in the hospital doing that shit. And like I said, I remember because that's when MySpace was still alive, but barely, and Facebook just came out, and like there was the trend going on Facebook about the cinnamon challenge. And I didn't understand these challenges or these whatever, because I didn't understand this terminology is not what we think it is. It's not like, I challenge you to a battle and whatever. It's not that type of thing. It's a trend. It's a challenge. It's these words that, it's just a thing that one person does, post a video, and then somebody else does. One of the biggest challenges that hit was the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which people didn't understand that thing generally helped, like, figure out how to help with ALS, which is an actual fucking, like, disease. And a lot of people thought that the ALS just meant, like, the person who made the challenge or something. So, like, people just dump the ice water on themselves and the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. But it brought up awareness to this disease. And so these challenges can change lives, can help find cures to diseases, and can make you bust your ass, can make you look like an idiot. There's a lot of these challenges, a lot of different ones, or a lot of whatever, but this is the evolution of the human species. We're just a bunch of monkeys monkeying around. That's what kids do differently than adults. That kids are just monkeying around, right? Because we're naked monkeys, like, we ain't got no hair, but we are a fucking monkey. And, like, I don't know, it shows in teenagers and kids and all these trends and all these different things. And yeah, this is why, like, my daughter, like I said, my daughter has a likey, and which is like a TikTok but not a TikTok. And if TikTok is still relevant when she's old enough to have one, obviously, let her do her thing with TikTok. But like, it's just, I can see that these apps are an issue, because we need to make sure we raise our daughters correctly. We need to make sure that they're not influenced by the girls that are just dancing and shit on TikTok. But we also need to not prevent our kids from experiencing what it actually means to be a human being in 2021. It's this weird thing where that's why I keep up to date with everything, because I want to make sure that, like, I know the world that my daughter's in. And you know how many parents, they complain about their kids, they complain about TikTok, or complain about social media, or complain about all this shit, but they complain about it because they don't understand that that's the world that their children live in. It's not the world that they were living in. And if you really want to help your child, then learn what world they're in. Learn, like, I don't know, this is why I let my daughter use technology. She's used technology since she was 3 years old. It's because I understand the world that she's going to be living in is more technological than the world we live in today. So it's best that she learns technology now, that she learns how to use these apps and use these programs, how to edit videos, how to do this. I'm teaching her how to make beats with FL Studios. And it's a long process. It's going to take a lot, because FL Studios is a complicated program to try to teach a 10-year-old. But like, it's this thing that I'm realizing this is what we have to do for our children. We got to keep them updated with the world, but also keep ourselves updated with the world, so we know how to help our children in the world today. Because a lot of parents, you know how they help their kids when dealing with TikTok? It's like, oh, well, you can't have a TikTok. Well, just get off of TikTok and you wouldn't have this problem. You need to get outside because that's what I did when I was your age, and yada yada yada. And it's all this shit that it doesn't matter what you did when you were your age. It doesn't matter what the fuck I did when I was my age. It matters that the kids today are not doing what we did. Just like I did not do what my dad did, and my dad did not do what his dad did, and his dad did not do what his dad did, because there's this evolution that my grandfather was born in the year of the Great Depression, so I'm pretty sure when he was fucking born, there was probably just black and white TVs, or just the invention of the TV with the radio still. And like, so when my dad like started doing things on the internet, my dad runs a bunch of online radio stations and a bunch of things on the internet, like online businesses and shit, and when my dad was doing that, his dad didn't understand. I bet he was probably like, what the fuck are you doing, like, on this machine thing? Why don't you go get a real job or whatever? And it's that the generations before us don't understand. People on TikTok dancing, and they're like, well, that's not real dancing. Why don't you fucking learn how to really dance? And yeah, it's not it's TikTok dancing. There's new inventions. There's new things happening that, yeah. It just is what it is. The world evolves. And we either evolve with it or we get left behind.